Hi, boys and girls. I wanted to give you some time to practice and recall what you learned in second grade about number grids. So let's get started. A monthly calendar, like this example, is a number grid. It's a type of number grid where the numbers of the days are listed in order. You can see up here we have first day of August, Tuesday, Wednesday is the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and then it wraps around to the 6th that's down here. The numbers are printed in the boxes, and the boxes are printed in these rows. There's 7 boxes in each row because there's 7 days in a week. So when we look at a number grid like you had in second grade, here's an example of one. They're not printed in rows of 7, they're printed in rows of 10. The numbers are listed in order and they're printed in these boxes, and there's 10 in each row so that when they're all lined up like this, the numbers in the last box of each row has a 0 as its final digit. So 10 has a 0, 20 has a 0. That's why we line it up this way. Counting forward on a number grid is like reading a calendar. When you reach the end of the line, remember you go back and start on the next line. So we would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then watch. After 10, I go to the next row and go 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So the cool thing is the numbers on a number grid have some simple patterns in them that we can use. And these patterns make the grid easy to use for addition and subtraction. So for example, anytime you move one square to the right, the numbers increase by 1. So for example, 15 is 1 more than 14. 14, next number up is 15. When you move to the left, the numbers decrease by 1. For example, 24, this number to the left would be 1 less than 24, which is 23. Now, when you move down, numbers increase by 10, a whole group of 10. So as an example, if I wanted to describe 37, I would say, well, 37 is 10 more than 27, because if I start at 27 and move down, I've increased this by a whole 10. And when you move up, numbers decrease by 10. So for example, 81 is 10 less than 91. So 91, 10 less, 81, right there. So a number grid, like a number line, can be extended to include all numbers. If I had a big enough computer screen, I could show you all the numbers, but this is what the next part of the screen would look like. Notice I start with 1, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, and then I go to the next row. So I could represent any number that I can think of in a number grid. Now, part of a number grid is shown right here. I can use the number grid patterns to fill in some missing numbers. So for example, if I know that this is 47 here, I can figure out this number because I know that this number, by using this key over here, if I decrease this by 10, take a 10 away from 47, that would leave me with 37. No other number can go there. What about if I wanted to figure out this number? Maybe you're thinking a little faster than me. You're using this arrow up here. I want to increase 47 by 1. So I would say 47. The next number would be 48. What about if I want to figure out this box? Well, for that one, I would need to increase by 10. So I would say 47, and then another 10 added on to it. 47, that would be 57. So we can solve a lot of problems just by knowing one number in part of the number grid, we could fill in the whole grid. But we're not going to do that today. Now, a number grid can help you add numbers. You might have had this kind of problem when you were in second grade. 48 plus 25 equals some number. Well, how can we use a number grid to figure out that answer? Well, here's what we do. First, we start at 48. See how I circled 48 over here? If you're ever working with a number grid on paper, you can just circle it on paper. Then the next thing I need to do is I need to look carefully at the number I'm adding to the 48. If I want to add 2 10s and 5, well, first I'm going to add 2 10s. So I add 20 or 2 10s by moving down 2 rows to 68. So 48, here's 10 to 58, and another 10, that's 20 to 68. Now, I've just added the 20. Let's add on the 5. Watch how we do this. We add 5 more by counting on 5 spaces. So from right here, I'm going to count 1. Well, I'll show you the pattern. I'm going to count there, then I'm going to wrap, then I'm going to count 3 more. Watch how I do it. 1, 2, where do I go next? 3, 4, 5. I've just taken 48 and added 25 to it. So now I know that 48 plus 2 groups of 10 and 5 will get me to 73. Now, I can use a number grid not only to do addition, but I can use it to find the difference between 2 numbers. Here's another example. This question says, find the difference between 37 and 64. Now, we know that 37 and 64 are not the same. However, how much difference is there between them? How many hops would it take to get from 37 to 64? That's the difference. When I want to know the difference of something, I want to know how far apart they are, measure it. So what I would do is I would need to count how many hops it takes me to get from 37 to 64, using those hops of 10 that go up and down and hops of 1 that go left and right. So watch how I do this. First of all, I'd start at 37. So I'm trying to go from 37 and I'm trying to get to 64 down here. And no fair going diagonals. So first I'm going to start with the 10s. Count the number of 10s going down from 37 down to 57. I don't want to go to 67 because that would be too far. That 67 is greater than 64. So I just want to go to here and then count on by ones. So I wrote here that there are 2 10s or 20, but let's see. 10, 20. Now I'm sitting on 57. Now I'm going to count the number of ones going from 57 to 64. So I'm going to say 1 at 58 when I hop to 58, 2 when I hop to 59, 3 when I hop to 60, 4 when I hop to 61, and so on. Let's see how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 hops, 7 ones. So that tells me that the difference between 37 and 64 is 2 10s and then 7 ones, or 27. Okay, now in a few minutes, you're going to get a chance to try some of these problems on your own. I'm going to talk you through it. The first one will be finding the difference between 16 and 46. Now for 16 and 46, you're probably thinking, well, that seems easy. That only seems like groups of 10s. That's right. So the first thing you'll do is you'll start on what number? That's right. You're going to start on 16. Then you're going to count the number of 10s going down to 46. There are How many 10s do you think it'll be? Okay, let's check your answer. 10, 20, 30. There's going to be 3 10s or 30. So the difference between 16 and 46 is 3 10s or 30. Now, when you get this page to work on in your HyperDoc, you can type in the numbers right here by just erasing the line or clicking in the middle of the line and typing in the numbers that you want to put in on this page.